And we're back for our third series of the day, and for some reason, I'm not going to lie, something severely boned XSplit. I don't know if it's in the interaction with Dota now. Something had to have changed because XSplit is not working well with Dota, and the front overlay was not working properly, so I had to use the transition. Now we have no pick ban on this one, so I apologize to the ADL for that. Definitely not something that is being done intentionally or because I don't care enough to try to do it right. Just for whatever reason, the overlays aren't loading. I don't know what the problem is, but I'll try to resolve it by our next broadcast coming up tomorrow. Team Liquid and Insight Esports, though, the two teams we have on the way today. Both of these teams have faced Phoenix already today, and did find out that Insight Esports is actually a Brazilian team. I did not know, so I'm learning the nationalities of all these teams I'm not super well acquainted with, and was an all-Brazil matchup in our last series. Go Brazil. Very, I'm enjoying a ton the chance to get to know your community and to get to know your teams and your players, and really hope to spend more time with you in the future, not just here in the ADL, but hope you guys start cracking into the other things as well. And yeah, really happy. But Team Liquid getting past Phoenix Esports in the first game of the day. Phoenix hung with them for a while, but Liquid again just able to kind of grind out that lead, and that really does seem to be kind of the way things tend to work.
5 seconds
is
remaining.
that, whenever you have a pro team up against an up-and-comer is the term I've decided to use. A team that is, certainly skilled, certainly on their way up, working their asses off, but still just needs to get more experience under their belt, still needs to refine their mechanics. And, that's an interesting discussion to have. When you talk mechanics, it's so easy to fall into the trap of just saying, well, that's last hits, or, that's proper item utilization if they're active items from your inventory, and so on and so forth. But mechanics involve, at least in my mind, mechanics include things like utilizing your time properly when you're moving across the map. If you're a carry, never spending too much time away from farm. Like if you're a hard farmer, just making sure that every step you take has a direct purpose and that you're not squandering any of that time. And the same goes for supports as well. Supports do occasionally intentionally squander some time because they want to free up some solo lane experience for their carry in a tri-lane and so on and so forth. But, whenever you look at a lot of top-tier teams versus a lot of up-and-coming teams, they can be close in terms of kills and towers, as was the case with Phoenix versus Liquid. But Liquid was just so much more efficient with their time, and that's really the key word here. Efficiency. Efficiency with your farm. Efficiency with your movement. Always having not just one, but sometimes secondary and tertiary goals whenever you group up and do something like smoke. Make sure it's worth everyone's while, not just the people who get the kill and the assist goal. And that was exactly the case, again, against Phoenix. Phoenix and Liquid were tied up. They had the exact same towers, and Liquid still, when you pulled up the gold graph, was 6,000 to 8,000 gold ahead with an upturning slope that showed no signs of abating. And one thing I really do love about what the ADL provides, not just for us, because we get to watch some entertaining Dota, we get to make ourselves acquainted with these up-and-comers, with these new players in the scene, but we get to directly compare these teams like this to see where those differences are. And more importantly, the teams themselves are going to walk away with the experience of saying, okay, we just played a team that is a direct invite to the International. Let's look and compare them to us and figure out why we aren't there. Let's figure out what we need to do. And I think that is invaluable. I think that is invaluable to the teams, to the players, because, at this level, the teams break up and split apart and reform. It's a big pool of players that are generally the biggest in the relative scenes, be it Brazil, North America, whatever, Peruvian in the case of Arctic. But, it's something that can be taken away from at all levels. And it's something that we, as observers, can watch too and gain a new appreciation for what the professional teams do. Because it's one thing to watch Liquid play Alliance, to watch Liquid play Navi and DK and Invictus Gaming and all that, where all of the little things are done right to the point where they don't stand out. You know what I mean? It's the status quo includes some things that are very easy to take for granted, especially that key word, efficiency. So harangue done. Just, and this is something, when we look at the drafts here, for Team Liquid and Insight, these aren't teams that know each other very well, for the most part. So the thing about it is, one reason I'm spending a lot of time talking during the beginning part of the drafts in a lot of these games is I can't really get into the business of simply being like, well, Team Liquid knows that X team knows this and this, that, and the other, because it doesn't really work that way at this level. So again, just covering some base topics that we can all hopefully take to heart. But we look at the bans. That was a Lifestealer and a Bat Rider banned out by Team Liquid. No EO or Visage going to be joining us courtesy of Insight. That freed up Insight to first pick a Shadow Demon, very Chinese approach to things, and I'm very much in the same boat, Insight. I will first pick a Shadow Demon any day of the week. Love that hero. In my opinion, the most all-around solid hero in the entire game from beginning to end. He's great in the laning phase. He's fantastic in the mid-game, and he is ridiculously strong in the late game, especially when he's up against a hard-farming carry. But anyway, that allowed Team Liquid to counterpick the Magnus and the Nyx Assassin, Lone Druid, and Jakiro. The pickups from Insight and Darkseer rounded out the lineup for Team Liquid. No Rubik out, which is surprising. And Liquid, I'm interested to see if Liquid's actually going to ban him. I mean, with the Jakiro and the Shadow Demon out, you look at that and go, well, where's the Rubik going to go? But it's many cases, especially with the Darkseer as well, there's so many good spells for that Rubik to steal. And, can't help but wonder, I'm a little curious as to why Insight didn't just pick the Rubik. Jakiro's an excellent hero, don't get me wrong. But you see a Magnus come out, first pick? Yeah, pretty sure I would be taking the Rubik in that situation. But Liquid, that's one thing Liquid can bank on too. Just say, no, we're not going to ban him. If you want to have a three support lineup, then we'll just find a way to abuse that, especially given the Lone Druid is not a hero who can really stand on his own 2 feet very comfortably early on. And that's one big reason why. Looking at Insight, I would imagine the Gyrocopter has been banned out, so he can't be there. Luna, as we saw previously, is a hero that can work very effectively with a Lone Druid on squad. And trying to put together an offensive tri-lane off of a Luna or off of another carry could certainly work for them. Liquid seems to be very conscious of that, banning out the Juggernaut and the Alchemist. And Luna does work well in the offensive tri-lane. And, there are a lot of heroes that don't really get a lot of attention that can still offensively tri-lane very, very effectively. Like, a good example of a hero that I think is extremely, to the point that it is genuinely surprising is CK. CK is underutilized so vastly. And you'll occasionally see Fnatic as a team that'll still draft it. Alliance to a point will draft it. And just not to run it with an EO, which is really the only time you see CK now. But just to put together a strong offensive tri-lane. If you have a game where a lot of carries are banned and there's no better option, Luna works there. But CK, he's still awesome. And yeah, Liquid is going to ban the Luna. So they're thinking exactly along the same lines I am. That with this lineup right now, Jakiro, Shadow Demon, and Lone Druid, they just don't have, they're not very robust. I'm going to continue to use that word and create that meme if I must. Hey, there you go. I'm a poet and didn't know it. But Shadow Demon, excellent single target initiator, excellent single target counter initiator. Lone Druid needs that time, needs solo space, needs solo farm, solo levels to really get his feet underneath him. Jakiro is an excellent hero, but he's very much a Scottie Pippen. He's very much a hero who makes others around him better more so than he's just amazing. It wasn't always the case. Before his Ice Path got nerfed a bit, he was a little stupidly strong at level 1 just because of 100 damage out of Ice Path, and given how easy that ability is to spam in laning phase, just made it so you could not stand up to him. And they're going to go and grab a Spectre. And that is okay. If I'm Liquid, I'm probably going to pick just an aggressive hero and go. When you're looking at the damage dealers that are available, Insight's done their homework, getting rid of TC's Gyro and getting rid of the Weaver as well. And we might see Fluff run an Enchantress here. That really wouldn't surprise me too much at all.
10 seconds remaining.
There's a Phantom Lancer still available if they wanted to go something like that. Not quite as aggressive as I'd like. Tell you what I'd like to see. I would like to see a Sven and an Enchantress pick up. Sven and Enchantress fitting into this lineup. It's quite obvious Insight is not going to be offensively tri-laning. You cannot offensively tri-lane a Spectre, or if they do and they want to do it into a Fluff Enchantress, then by all means, let them. Magnus mid, Nyx Assassin on support, Darkseer holding it down in the jungle or in the off lane, whichever he feels comfortable with. He should feel pretty comfortable. Just flat out terrorizing the defensive tri-lane of Shadow Demon, Jakiro, and Spectre. And they're actually going to get Bane. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, Liquid. Don't listen to me if you're going to be dicks about it. But, yeah, they're still looking for a carry, but I think Sven might be on the menu. I really, really do. I'd be surprised if he's not, actually. When you look at, where's their damage? Insight has some magic damage from Jakiro. They have the single target physical DPS of Lone Druid. They're going to have Spectre if she gets super farmed. But that's a long ways off for both her and the Druid. Druid will actually peek out before Spectre will.
5 seconds remaining.
And grab the Sven. bonus armor from Warcry, stun to follow up the vacuum wall into the reverse polarity or vice versa, and tons of cleave. They're going to go ahead and grab the Night Stalker. That'll be their mid, so they're going to be running 3 damage dealers. And, you know, that's a lot of farm to split. Night Stalker doesn't need a ton, but he does need a good start. And not spectacular against Magnus in mid. Mag should do just fine. So it should be a fairly early Blink Dagger and some early aggressive potential coming out of the Magnus right off the bat. Darkseer, I don't think, is going to feel under much pressure at all in the defensive tri-lane, or up against the defensive tri-lane of Insight. Come on, Liquid. Make me look like a prophet. Make me look like a boss. Show me this film. Oh, Cole. Oh, that's so chicken. That is so chicken from Liquid. Oh, I am so going to flip those guys. Crap. That is a chicken pick. I'm sorry. Sven would have been an excellent pick. Anti-Mage. Going to pick an Anti-Mage. Come on. Sven would have made for an exciting game. That's okay, though. Love the guys anyway. And don't normally talk like that, but come on. You're going to pick an Anti-Mage. And, you know, I get it. It's a nice safety build. You can go toe-to-toe with Spectre. Problem is, Druid actually does deal fairly well with an Anti-Mage in the late game, even with the BKB up, just because of Root. And, yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Liquid to close the game out in the mid-game. I don't think this is a game where they can or should feel very comfortable going to like an hour or going to like 50 minutes. 40 minutes-ish, whatever.
5 seconds remaining.
But chickening out. I am so going to jump on Liquid after once the game loads in. But not once the game loads in, but once we're done. Oh, it's such a chicken pick. But we are underway. And once again, this will be our third and final ADL broadcast of the day. Insight Esports in action in their second best of 1 today. They ran into Phoenix, the Brazilian teams. This is an all Brazilian affair. I was very happy to have our Brazilian viewers and any Brazilians still hanging out. Much love from San Fran on down to you guys. Liquid, the pride of North America, or one of 3 teams that lays claim to that title. They're going to be looking to improve their record to 2-0. Insight just looking to get a win on the board. Just a reminder that you need to hit follow. You're on twitch.tv/American Dota League. We'd love to have you back for all of the action in the future. We got a whole season ahead of us, just about 2 months worth of matches. Going to be broadcasting 5 days a week. Most of the time, or 3 days a week. Let me see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, at least 3 days a week following the D2L. D2L scheduling's been a little not as stable as I would have liked just because we had some scheduling foul-ups with teams out of the country and such with Alliance and Team Liquid and so on and so forth. So we are having some make-up matches here and there. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, every one of those days I will be here broadcasting for the ADL. Would love to have you back. And want to thank you again for being a part of the stream, no matter what corner of the world you happen to call home. Thank you for making us a part of your broadcast day and for supporting what I truly believe deep down is an invaluable tournament to the development of the North American Dota scenes. And, you know, it's not just the North American Dota scenes as a game. This kind of stuff is invaluable to the entire industry. Because, you know, let's say that maybe this is the first tournament you've ever seen for esports, and you're just discovering that esports is a thing. And you go on, even if you're only a Midland Dota fan, even if you're the girlfriend, for example, of a Dota player, and your boyfriend's showing you this for the first time. And you go, well, you know, Dota's not my game, but competitive gaming is still awesome. So you play StarCraft, or you go and play World of Tanks even. Nothing wrong with that. Certainly would love to have you as a Dota viewer for all time, and Dota is empirically the best game. I'm sorry, it just is. Not empirically, but in my fine opinion it is. But nonetheless, I love what Sean, the lead guy, the man behind the league, is doing here. I'm very proud to be a part of it, and I have a lot of pride in the fact that you guys are sharing in this with me. So thank you again. Make sure you hit follow here on twitch.tv/ADL. You can find them on Twitter as well, twitter.com/American Dota. Don't have to finish out the American Dota League, just American Dota. Gives you their Twitter address, and you can find me on Twitter as well. I'm at AC, at AYESEE, and on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/ACTV, and you can find links to all of my other social media there. YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. ACTV.
The battle begins.
Easy peasy. So the horn blows. Let's see who's going to be handling who. See the bear taking a little bit of abuse here, as we're going to see poor Devil trying to do some creep pulling again, and they anticipated it. Mike has his first point in the Nightmare, so even if the bear does make it to the creep wave, not going to be able to accomplish much. We'll make Mike spend a little bit of mana at the very least. And he and Fluff going to try to hem the thing in. Takes a path through the woods and should be able to make it back to safety, but Devil likely not going to be having a good game. And that Bane counter pickup by Liquid, nothing wrong with that. Talked about that earlier today, why it works so well against the Lone Druid. For those just joining, I'll briefly recap. Essentially, the Bane pickup. He has 3 skills that work extremely well against the Druid and his bear, and he's able to also disable or at least weaken another member of the enemy team as well. So he can not only account for the Druid, but he can continue to contribute to the team fight in other ways. But what we just saw there is actually a pretty big shutdown spell. And what this bear is trying to do is steal these creeps, drag them over back to the Druid where he can last hit them under the tower. And that's actually, did he not have the mana? Yeah, he should have had the mana. That's a misplay from Mike. But whenever he grabs these creeps like this, the Bane can Nightmare the bear, and that completely removes aggro from the creeps, and they run back to lane. And it actually is kind of a big deal, and yeah, they're going to try to grab it if he can. But regardless, the Druid will get some much-needed experience. And this tactic, very important for any Druid in the off-lane. So, it's tossing that out there for some of the new folks in the crowd. But a very quiet laning phase on the way, so all we can really talk about is mid here. SS taking on Korok. Both of these heroes should do fine. Korok will be able to shockwave, and we'll be able to scare SS a little bit just because of Skewer. With proper bottle crowing and SS flying harassment where he can, he'll be able to keep Korok playing a little bit scared as well. And Mike, still not nightmaring it. There it is. And it actually ends up getting removed, so they're going to try to... The bear actually did manage to still grab one. So it does have a range creep in tow. Down in bottom, Insight, ready to start trying to take a tier 1, get off to a good start. Can't blame them there. This lane out of Liquid. No surprise to see TC farming up the Anti-Mage. And in terms of CS, he's on top of the board, exactly where they want him. The Lone Druid going to continue to struggle down here. Devil did reach level 2, but still not the biggest deal. And again, it's all going to come down to Korok and SS. That's going to be what breaks down the laning phase. One of these two or both of these two are going to start to move around at a given moment. And Liquid conscious of that might even try to gank him, but that would be something that would serve both of these teams. The Night Stalker much easier to gank out, especially during the daytime, than the Magnus is going to be. So Korok can play a little bit more bravely, relying on Skewer. SS needs to be very, very cautious. And at 3 minutes in, 3 and 4 minutes in is usually considered the standard gank timings in most games. More so when there's a Chin or an Enchantress, but even just 2 supports. This is usually when supports say, okay, we've got, we're level 3, level 4. Bane's just level 1, but level 2 on the Nyx Assassin, so not getting a ton of experience so far. But this is usually when they'll try to make something happen. The Chikiro's level 2, Shadow Demon just hit level 3. And yeah, like I said, level 3, level 4. The support's getting much better experience here in this bottom lane than in the top. But they are, in exchange, sapping that from the Spectre Anti-Mage a full level ahead there. Night Stalker did find himself an Invis. And let's see if they want to do anything with it. It is bottled up and will be spotted by Korok as he continues to bottle crow with Cluckles. Fluff's going to TP down here. Now this is nice for him. Very nice rotation. Nyx Assassin hero, you want to get to 6 as quickly as possible. And if there's any one good thing about having to defend a tower all by yourself, it's that if you're Nyx Assassin, you're going to have... He doesn't have Carapace, but he has Impale to get him out of trouble. And he just soaks up some very safe experience already up to level 3.5 from 2.5. And just showing up to do nothing but soak experience, maybe stack Ancients if he wants to. Doesn't look like he's going to try. Yep, just going to move right back out. All Fluff. If he can get CS, which he actually will be able to do so. Well, whenever he hits it. Come on, Fluff. Tried to deny the one. Unable to do so. But free CS, free gold, free levels. Level 4 from level 2. You're in mid. Back to this matchup. 22-22. Basically a wash. No surprise. TC continuing to farm well, though. Sitting at 31. He's on top. Spectre having pushed that tower down. And this is a problem that they're going to have to do something about. And this is, again, something I would label as a mistake that you're not going to see too many pro teams make. They are going to go ahead and smoke, so they are going to move towards mid. And try to kill off the Magnus, the Invis rune used by the Night Stalker. Korok's going to have to smell something up here shortly. He's going to check up here and not see anyone. And right about now, he should... Nope, never mind. Korok way too far forward and will be disrupted. He's going to have Skewer and RP to bail him out. Ice Path beautifully shot. He is silenced as well. And that Ice Path essentially is going to be able to skewer away, though. And now Mike's there along with Fluff. Fluff spins the Impale. And that was very close for him. That was a really well-shot Ice Path from the Jakiro. Essential to buy that time and allow the Night Stalker to get the instant silence off before he had time to cast it. Or cast the Skewer, and almost got them the kill. But at 6 minutes in, decent attempt. Still no first blood on the board. Didn't make the supports rotate, though. Anti-Mage, though, just continues to farm. The Druid is soaking levels now, though. Just about 4.5. Anti-Mage on his way to 8. Taking a bit of abuse. Looks like he will be going straight up for a Battle Fury. He already has his Ring of Health up. And we'll have his Claymore before long. Might decide to go ahead and one-shot finish Treads before he does. But for now, looking at the levels, 7 and 7 for the Mag and the Anti-Mage. Their tops on the board. And a little surprised to see the Night Stalkers actually, yeah, he's about to hit 7. So that explains it. And yeah, Mag and him right on top of each other. Mag slightly ahead in XP. Probably from the Night Stalker ruining a bit. Darkseer's right there as well, though. Sitting at level 6. Haven't talked a whole lot about Bulba. He's been spending his time in the jungle, has a soul ring up, and now they're going to go for it. Spectre in trouble. RP going to be spent. And pluck. Going to be our first blood, picked up by Korok. Exactly the hero they want to get it on when they can, too. Having Korok not just involved, but landing the killing blow puts him that much closer to a Blink Dagger at just 7.5 minutes in. That's going to be the word go for Insight. As it's now nighttime, Night Stalker still actually has to put a skill point into his ulti. Instead, opting to focus on his passive and the Void. They're going to have some decent push here. Tier 1's going to drop. Looks like in mid, they can't really do anything. Putting a bit of pressure on, but certainly not going to be able to outpush that lineup. The Bear picked up an Orb of Venom. Phase boots up on Avell, has his bottle up as well. And the Druid certainly on his way to an armament. Also has a set of Tranks up, so he's not completely barren anymore. He's at 20 at the moment. And both teams going to retire to their respective corners. They'll check that Bulba. Harassing block again. And looks like they want to engage. Bulba caught with another well-shot Ice Path. Violence on the money with that. Surge will go off just in time to get him away. Does have help coming. That's going to be Fluff. Fluff not yet 6. If he was 6, this would be an easy kill. It's going to be an Impale point blank. And should be anyway. Night Stalker in the meantime actually killed the Anti-Mage. That's a high priority kill for him to have gotten. And Fluff opting not to spin the Impale. But that is extremely high priority. Looks like he just dove him flat out, silenced him out so he couldn't blink away. And that is an absolutely excellent kill for them to get. Very close to 0 in terms of gold. Liquid is leading pretty handily in experience. But again, just shutting the Anti-Mage down a little bit. More than enough. He did one shot by his treads, though, so he probably didn't lose all that much gold. And Fluff still, or actually is level 6 now. Now this is where they can start to play pretty aggressive. Plock is not going to feel comfortable coming out much further than right here. And we can see that already. Not really comfortable going out there. And in mid, we are looking to have an engagement. Fluff spots them out, has Vendetta, going to spend it, and immediately blow up the Shadow Demon. And there's a disruption. Carapace, a response, and Shockwave, though, well-timed and well-placed by Korok, gets them the kill. Korok should be very close to his Blink Dagger if he doesn't have it already. And nope, he actually built drums. Holy crap. Could have more or less had a Blink Dagger by now. And instead, build a set of drums. Just tanking himself up, helping the team out, I reckon. The Bear, set of its own phase boots up now. And the armlet will be on the way slowly but surely, one would imagine. TC. A little tread switching like a boss, but still a ways away from that Battle Fury due to him spending that gold. And there's going to be a disruption onto the Bane. Here comes Korok. That's going to be enough to ward them away. Bane is not level 6, does not have Fiend's Grip. And eats the Void. Korok's there. Might reinitiate. Looks like he thought about it. Spectre blows the ulti. And Might trying to run away will make it away. And wow, that's actually Plock. I'm a little surprised. Yeah, Mag looping around. There, beautiful RP opportunity missed out there. Bet you wish you had that Blink Dagger now, don't you, Korok? And I'm surprised Plock actually came in. Bit of a risky decision. And Korok's just going to get a free kill. That's really the only word for it. Now he's going to be rooted in exchange, but they're not going to hang around and wait. Korok has very little mana. And looks like he actually did spend his RP. Huh, I didn't see it. Didn't catch it. Ruin and company. They begin pushing in. And here comes Nyx, under cover of Vendetta. Doing the old end around, looking for a target. Bane's still not level 6, still not even level 5. Reveals himself. Here comes Korok. Nyx is still hanging out. He is going to expire, though. Not that it matters. That's what a Sentry Ward looks like. Tough to be sneaky when there's an enemy Sentry Ward. Korok going to be silenced while this is going on. TC is just free farming away.
Radiant structures are
On pace to have Tread's Battle Fury up by around 15 minutes. If he sticks with it. He is static farming this as best he can, though. Oh, never mind. As soon as they open the mouth, he starts to auto-attack. Insight, smoking up, moving to look for a target. Fluff. And Bulba, the two most obvious. Bulba actually has enough to finish his mech right now. Might want to do so. He is going to surge himself. And, oh, very nice impale. Just about in time to save Bulba. Bulba down to half health, silenced out. Great engagement. And there will be a response. Let's see how quickly it'll get here. Just Fluff and Korok, though. And Fluff spinning the impale. Lockdown SS. They're going to try to chase him out. Very nice skewer. Needs 10 seconds before he has RP up again. Fluff continuing to chase this out. And Korok cleans up another kill. That's a mega kill for him. And not done yet. Pursuing out the easy kill here with the Shadow Demon. One shockwave, ice path off the mark. Nice attempt, though. Coming out from Violence. And gonna deny himself. Nope. Triple kill for Korok. And he's not done. He's not done. He's going hunting. Spots the Jakiro and has the skewer and uses the RP. Shockwave's there. That's an ultra kill. A 13-minute ultra kill for Korok. Utterly absurd. That's a very fat, very threatening, very dangerous-looking Magnus. And yeah, I guess the drums pay for themselves, huh?